What's happening, people? It's your boy King Tire next. And oh my gosh, I sound so white in this. Anyways, as you guys can clearly see from what you call it again, like the thumbnail, and from this picture, we are going to be doing what if Naruto was Red Hood. Well, part whatever. I don't remember which part exactly. All I know is that like the last time I left off on, I was about to say Naruto, on Deku versus Bakugo. I left you guys on a cliffhanger. You guys are welcome for that, by the way. Anyways, basically what ended up happening between these two is that when they walk into the arena, these two are glaring at each other. As we all know from the very beginning of this series, these two have had quite a bit of a rivalry. But before Izuku's fate to the Yakuza, well, your boy Deku actually took a W here. Deku was actually able to finally take down his longtime rival Katsuki Bakugo during that event from part 1, yeah. Bakugo, after his defeat, had been training relentlessly in order to have their rematch so that he could actually win this time around. What ended up happening here is that now that these two were alive, people all over Japan are watching this. Now they knew it was a destined rivalry. Not a destined rivalry, but it was a destined rematch. These two, of course, were glaring at each other. As soon as President Mike said for them to start, they were going in, no bars held. No held bars, however the phrase goes. Izuku ran at Katsuki. Katsuki ran at Izuku. These two were running at each other with anger in their eyes. They were ready to fight. Izuku held out his fist, ready to do a left hook, while Bakugo was ready to do a right hook. These two were going to fight each other to seemingly the death. Next thing you know, Deku punches Bakugo. Bakugo punches Izuku. These two hit each other right in the jaw. These two look at each other and they're like, hey, you copied my move. Deku, afterwards, he just sweeps Bakugo's legs from underneath him. Next thing you know, Bakugo, he uses his explosions and basically hits Izuku in the face, causing Izuku to be stunned for a second, while Bakugo, he's actually able to push himself, or like cause himself to float up a little bit so he doesn't actually fall down because of Izuku's sort of trip. What the heck, man? Anyways, yeah, ignore that what just happened there. Anyways, yeah, what I said before, Bakugo literally just uses his explosions to launch himself into the air in order to make sure that he doesn't trip this time. Izuku is knocked back from these explosions though. Bakugo goes and aims himself back at Izuku. He uses his explosions while he's still in mid-air to sort of hover, or at least direct himself towards Izuku. Izuku gets right back up from the floor though, but as soon as he sees Bakugo gunning for him, Izuku gets back on the floor and kicks Bakugo in the face. Bakugo is thrown back from this. He is a bit dazed after that kick. He didn't expect for so much force to be held in that sort of kick from Izuku. Izuku gets back up. I'm not sure like which weapons he had I forgot which weapons he was allowed to use, but I'm going to say that at this time, this was when Izuku was fully allowed to use his guns. He just is not allowed to use his real bullets. He takes out I'm going to say a Draco. Nah. Yeah, I'm going to say like he just pulls out a Desert Eagle and he shoots a rubber bullet at Bakugo. It hits him right in between his eyes. Basically that bridge between his eyes, right in the middle. This stings and hurts Bakugo so much that he's actually screaming a little bit from the pain of the force that just hit him. He glares at Izuku and forces himself to move beyond the pain. He basically tries to attack Izuku. Izuku attacks Bakugo. These two are clawing at each other now. The audience is watching them and is amazed by their fight. These two are going in. And these two are really duking it out here. Izuku uses his head and actually headbutts Bakugo here. Bakugo growls from the pain, but he kicks Izuku in the side. Izuku grunts in pain as well. Next thing you know, these two are still going at it. Time will go by, these two are still fighting. 10 minutes and 15 minutes, 20, 35, 40 minutes. These two are still fighting. The audience is amazed by how long this fight is. These two are still going in. It's as if they had the most energy out of everyone. It's like they had unlimited energy. But in reality, what was really happening was that these two were at their very last bits of energy. These two were at the very end of their limits. These two are really pushing their limits here. Izuku realizes that if he doesn't do something soon, Bakugo may take the win here. He sees Bakugo launch himself into the air and getting ready to use the Howitzer Impact. I forgot. The Howitzer Impact or Howitzer Blast, but regardless, you guys already know what I'm talking about. Izuku realizes what he has to do in this situation. He looks back and sees some of the rubble. He shoots his Desert Eagle and Bakugo. He sends a barrage of rubber bullets at Bakugo. Afterwards, he throws a bunch of rocks at Bakugo, trying to distract Bakugo, trying to cause Bakugo to lose focus, trying to throw Bakugo off. Next thing you know, Izuku gets into a drunken monkey style. When Bakugo loses his control over his move, but only for a second though, as he still manages to, he still manages to make that impact, causing a gigantic explosion to happen. But Izuku, he doesn't let off though. Izuku grabs onto Bakugo here. Oh jeez, I hate these. I hate these so much. But basically, Bakugo, as soon as he realizes that Izuku literally just grabbed onto him, he is trying to do his best to get Izuku off of him. Izuku does actually release himself from Bakugo, but what happens instead, though, is something pretty interesting. What do I mean, though? Like I said before, when these two fought, Izuku got into his drunken monkey fist style. Or like just drunken style for now, I'm just gonna call it. Because in the very first part I had mentioned that Izuku had mastered many forms of martial arts over the years. So I'm going to say that Izuku also mastered that sort of martial arts. And Bakugo would look at Izuku weirdly because, well, Izuku was in such a weird stance that he wasn't even able to predict any of Izuku's moves. Izuku was panting heavily here, and Bakugo could see this as well. Bakugo was thinking that maybe Izuku was at his limits now. Bakugo knew that he was also at his limits as well. He had just used the Howitzer blast on him, and Izuku still managed to find a way to, well, get past it. And that was supposed to be his end-all, be-all sort of move, but Izuku was able to just somehow, through luck or something of the sort, managed to get by and still win. Not win, but, well, dang, I forgot the name. But slip by. Bakugo is, of course, pretty frustrated, but he still refuses to submit to Izuku. These two are looking at each other now and they're wondering what they should do next. Bakugo sets off like a couple explosions and charges in at Izuku still. Izuku uses his drunken fist in order to actually do something new. He strikes Bakugo's chest a couple times, repeatedly. Then he uses a chi block. Then he uses his moves in order to create a chi block, causing Bakugo to lose his ability to use his quirk in one of his arms, which causes Bakugo to lose balance of himself because he was still using his explosions during this time. Bakugo just falls to the ground. He just slides onto the ground, and he pushes himself back up. One of his arms is limp. Completely numb. He can't move it at all. Bakugo is screaming at Izuku out because he's wondering what this guy just did to him. Izuku just tells him that he's not going to tell him anything. At least not for right now. Bakugo growls in anger and charges back at Izuku, but this time he's trying to really think about how he's going to do it because he's used to being able to use his explosions in both arms. Now he has to use his explosions in only one arm, which is going to be difficult to keep himself balanced. Bakugo, he does still make a couple of explosions, big enough explosions to at least daze Izuku. Izuku tries to get close to Bakugo, but Bakugo, he isn't allowing it here. He makes sure that Izuku keeps his distance from him because he doesn't know what other techniques he has under his sleeve. Bakugo then tries to think of what move he could make. Next thing you know, he actually feels a couple bullets hit him though. Rubber bullets, by the way. Bakugo, he is, I don't know how to say it, but as soon as he feels these rubber bullets hit him, he just loses focus. And he just hunches over, like, you guys know what I mean. He just hunches over in pain. He is so in pain that he can't even move right now. This is when Izuku makes his move though. He gets close to Bakugo and pushes him out to the arena. I know, anticlimactic. Especially after all that I had just set up for this. But yes, that is how Izuku wins. And Bakugo's angry here because he lost to Izuku again. But yeah, that's how I'm going to end it for right now. The crowd goes wild, especially because of the fact that Izuku, apparently the vigilante Red Hood, the quirkless vigilante that somehow became admitted into UA. He was somehow admitted into UA. he managed to do the impossible. He managed to win the whole sports festival, become a vigilante, create such an influence that it would be known for generations to come. What Izuku had just done in these moments, just completely solidifying that, yes, Izuku was worthy of becoming a hero. Um, Another thing, though, is that, well, now that Izuku had defeated Bakugo Katsuki and won the whole sports festival, that meant he would be admitted into UA. Well, not UA, but Class 1A. Yes, that's how Izuku actually ends up in Class 1A here. Now, we just have this time skip, and Izuku is just at UA. He's dressed in his UA outfit, like you would see in canon, except for the fact that he is not wearing, like, the blazer, because, well, he just finds it to be too constricting. Afterwards, Zuko is wondering, okay, so why is this door so big? That's the very first thing that he thinks. When he enters the classroom, everybody's just staring at Zuko. Because, well, this was the most famed vigilante, Red Hood. And with all the chaos that was ensued because of him, they are really wondering, okay, should we keep our distance or what? They didn't know how to feel about Izuku, to be honest. Aizawa would walk into the classroom and mention how, well, they had a new student being Izuku, of course. On top of that, they were also going to look at, like, the amount of votes they got because of the sports festival, because, well, I forgot the reason. Even if I looked it up, I wouldn't understand the reasoning behind it. But you guys probably know what I mean, though. So when everybody is looking at the stats, like the amount of heroes that recommended them for an internship of the sorts, they noticed that Azuku's name is actually on there, and I'm going to say that there's quite a few heroes that have him up there. Not as many as either Bakugo or Todoroki, but enough to the point where it just trumps literally everybody else in the class. They're wondering, okay, why does this guy have so many votes? And they're also wondering, why do Bakugo and Todoroki have more votes than Red Hood? Because, well, Red Hood did win the whole sports festival. They're really wondering that. So what they decide is to just bombard Aizawa with a whole bunch of questions, but Aizawa just uses his quake and shuts the whole class up, honestly. Izuku is unfazed, though, because he doesn't really find Aizawa to be all that intimidating because of what he's been through already. He's been through so much. He's been through hell and back. He's literally died already. So this is just child's play to him. Aizawa goes on to explain why these guys just have so many different amounts compared to the rest of the class. He explains that, well, it's been more spread out in, like, other years, but this year, due to the amazing fights this time, due to the amazing feats of the class this time around, it's just a bit different here. Yeah, that's how I'm going to explain it, I guess. Whatever. I got nothing else, to be honest. How long is this video? 19 minutes, 20 minutes actually. Aizawa just tells the class to, well, just choose which hero you feel like interning with this time. What ends up happening though, in this canon actually, I'm going to say, well, Izuku doesn't actually go with Gran Torino. Number one, for obvious reasons, he doesn't have one for all here. So Gran Torino would have no reason to even actually want to, have Izuku as like some sort of intern. I'm not even sure if I'm using the right word here. But of course, you know what I mean. Izuku also wouldn't want to work with a hero such as Gran Torino because number one, he's never even heard of this man. He didn't even know that he was a hero to begin with. And number two, like, because of the fact that he never knew of him, he also, not just that, but he also has like a lot of other options here. He would see no reason to really go with a no-name hero, so he decides to go with one of the best heroes all around. Miracle. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to say that he interns with Miracle because obviously she is a pretty high-ranked hero, and with just how she is already, it's dope. I'm going to say that, well, because of the fact that they are like a bunny hero of the sorts, and just her whole attitude, Izuku kind of vibes with that. And that's why he ends up interning with Miracle. She doesn't have her own agency. She just goes around all of Japan fighting. And he can appreciate that. And she's like a new style hero. And he feels that, well, she'd have like a lot of moves that she could actually teach him, especially when it comes to kicks and all that. He's seen some of her fights and he's just amazed, honestly. So that's why I'm going to say that he is going to intern with Miyako here. I'm pretty sure some of you Miyako fans... Miracle? Yeah, I think I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing her name right. But that's what I'm going to say here. That's why he actually interns with Miracle. And I know some of you fans are just kind of like, yes. Because of the fact that obviously she's a fan favorite. And many people already want him to work with Miracle. I'm not even sure if she's gonna survive, to be honest. In the current arc, anyways. Izuku actually does learn a lot from Miracle here. There's one small problem here, though. Izuku is not here for Ida. Because of the fact that you never interned with Gran Torino, that means they would never be on that train and end up going to Hosu City. Because Izuku never went to Hosu in this timeline, Ida, oh jeez, poor Ida. Ida dies here because Izuku never found out. Izuku wasn't even close to Ida in this timeline. They weren't really even friends here. Shoot, this is a dark what if. Oh my gosh. Because of the fact that Izuku was never even friends with Ida, he didn't even know the guy's name, to be honest. So once he realizes, once this all plays out, that means there's nobody here to actually, well, save Ida. And the hero killer thing, it's just lights out for Ida here. Dang. That's how I'm gonna end this part today, guys. I know, this is like the darkest way to end it. But yeah, because Izuku was never there, that means Todoroki wouldn't be there either. So, yes, either is already out of the picture as well. That's how I'm going to end this part for today. King Titan X out. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. What do you guys want to see in the next parts? And that's about it, I guess. King Titan X out. Peace, Titan Clan. Oh yeah, also if you guys are wondering when did I get a profile picture, shout out to Headhunter. This man made me a whole profile picture for YouTube and the banner as well, but custody ended up informing me that, well, you see, here's the problem. Shoot. Discord actually shrinks the size of the pictures and all that. So I couldn't even upload the channel. I couldn't even make the channel. I couldn't even upload it, unfortunately. Well, shoot. Anyways, that's about it for now, I guess. King Titan X out.